So this morning what we're going to do is to start by coming together and thinking about the interview data that we have gathered on some fifth grade students from both classrooms. Looking at that first for any patterns and questions that the teachers may have about that, how the process went, and a number of people around the table here have done the interviews or witnessed them, and so we can have, I think, a really rich discussion around that. And we'll use that possibly, but it's more centered around what the teachers really want to see in the classroom, to plan a lesson together, and to go right into the classroom. And we're going to go into Shanika's classroom and to teach that lesson, come back together and debrief about it. And we'll be using the motivational framework to plan the lesson, as well as pages below it for the debriefing. We'll be talking about each of the conditions and the wows and the wonders that we saw during that. And then also thinking about what goals we have as a team, but individually, that we'll take from this. What are the experiences that we have that may impact our practice.
Okay, so what I think we have is that we'll go in, Megan will do a welcome and real quick kind of why all these adults are piled in and intros. And maybe over here with attitude, in order for people to make choices, they have to have a sense of where we're going. So if you would say what the goal is that we're addressing, the math goal or standard, and even with jumping down to competence, what they will hopefully have accomplished by the time we all pile out. So some kind of way of helping them have clear criteria for success.
Okay.
And then what I heard everybody saying is that we want to get going by first providing, after you talk about the goal, an example of what that might mean using some easy stuff that they're all really good at. Okay. And then what I hear you saying is then you're going to up the challenge. Here's something that we really want to work on for lots of reasons. But to get them going, let's brainstorm, right? Am I skipping anything in this?
No.
Okay. So brainstorming always goes under attitude, because what they'll talk about is always relevant to them. And then now comes the part where I really need your math knowledge and collective math knowledge. How do we begin to unpack that challenge in order to get them to here? What will you have them do then?
So I think that would follow. I think that would follow along, meaning asking them what is division.
I think that is that is. So you're going to say, what is division? Are you going to model then the writing process for writing a story problem?
We'll do that with the simple addition problem. The teachers have expressed the two goals that they're wanting to address in this lesson, both writing the story problem as well as solving it and thinking about the strategies and explaining. So there are two goals. So while I want to give the appropriate amount of time in terms of how to write a story problem and some practice with that and sharing some out, that's not the only purpose of the lesson. We also want to solve the problem and share out strategies. How did we do that? And did we explain our thinking in this first, next, last, or 1, 2, 3? What were our steps for explaining our thinking?
We're going to put a lot of emphasis on getting them to really feel a sense of ownership in the experience of writing a story problem. And then they're going to have to do some deep thinking. And we look for what is Megan doing, the wows and the wonders that has to do with respect and connectedness, creating that sense of community around learning, choice and personal relevance, just getting everybody to have a really positive attitude, deep stuff, the substance, the challenges and engages. What are the wows in terms of when kids were so involved they lost their sense of time? What are the wonders about how to do that even better? And then finally, how do we know they learned anything?